Welcome to Season 2, Episode 1 of Education, a Clusterfuck in Need of Repair. This episode is entitled The Phoenix. Before we start, I'd like to emphasize that all ideas presented in this podcast are my own and do not reflect the thoughts, opinions, or positions of my employer, Emerson College, its programs, or its representatives. Because we withhold acknowledgement from people, never mind accolades or praise or awards, we are so fucking stingy with even simple recognition. Why? I remembered what I know, that teachers have unlimited power to impact their students, to inspire them, to educate them, to impact the field of education, and through that, the way people think about the world, about life, about our purpose as people who live in community with one another. Don't forget your value or the value of what you do. It's important, and you're not the only one who knows it. This is sort of about resilience, about where we are as educators in this most perilous of times, about where I am. I'm back. It took a while. Why? I could cite the incredible busyness and complexity of life, the endless stream of tasks, important and unimportant, that clog all of our inboxes. But really, that's not why. I didn't know what to say. These are grim times. Grit your teeth, keep your head down, and push through times. Try not to despair times. What do I have to offer that could help in the face of that? Truisms? Trite reassurances on the importance of what we do as teachers, as humans? That felt bitter. Bitter and useless. Maybe even a little cruel. Then 3 things happened. The first is that my field, theater education, was impugned. A department that I've built over 30 years, and in the importance of which I deeply, deeply believe. And the rationale was based in the belief, fostered by some bad players, that there was no need for theater educators anymore. No real interest in the part of students, no jobs once they graduated. What the fuck? Yes, it's me. That is just so wrong. So I got up from the metaphorical floor on which I was lying, and I started talking, gently pushing back against the misinformation that was being presented as fact, but honestly, with not a lot of hope that I'd be successful. The second is that the semester began, and I was buoyed by the energy of students, the power of their belief in theater and in education. That always helps me. But the thing that really got me going was a crazy misunderstanding, which is so typical of my life. So, a funny story. I was contacted by a friend of mine who is on the board of the Mass Educational Theater Guild. Big organization in Massachusetts for theater. They run an epic 3-level high school theater competition. And I know a lot of the people who are on the board because I've been around for a long time. Yeah. So he said, we'd really like it if you came and talked to the board before our first annual meeting. And it's like 12 people. I know them. I was like, oh, sure, I'd be glad to do that. And then as time went on, I was like, well, it's getting close, so I contacted them. I go, what do you want me to talk about? And they were like, talk about anything. There's nothing they wouldn't want to hear from you. I'm like, wow, that's nice. So, okay. The night before, I realized, I don't know what time of day this is the next day, So I emailed, I said, what time is this thing? And I thought it was going to be like 4 in-the-afternoon. No, 11:30 in the morning. So good I asked. And the second thing, then I realized I don't know where it is. So I got to reach out again. Oh, it's in Wayland. I go, great. Third email. Wayland High School? Yes, it was in Wayland High School. What a moron. So anyway, the next morning I get up and I'm going to talk to a group of people I know. And it's a board of trustees meeting, but these aren't particularly formal people. So I'm like, what do I wear? I really only have 2 levels of clothes. I have rags, which I wear around the house, and I have my work clothes. But the work clothes seem kind of stuffy, but I was like, nah, okay, I can't wear rags. I'll wear the work clothes. And at the last minute, I was like, oh, should I wear these earrings? Because I like them a lot. I bought them for myself. And I was like, well, that seems kind of, overdressed. And I was like, no, wear the earrings. So I put in the earrings and I'm driving to this event and I'm thinking, this is insanity. It's an hour drive to talk for 10 minutes to a group of people I could talk to at any time. And, why am I doing this? But I'm like, I'm already on the road. So I pull into the school parking lot and it is jammed with cars, really. And there's a can drive over on one side of the parking lot. And I'm like, wow, Wayland has more people at their school during the weekend than many schools have during the week. It's impressive. And I go into the building, and on the doors to the entrance are like signs that say METG, Mass Educational Theater Guild. And I was like, for the Board of Trustees, well, maybe it's just like a respect thing. I open the door, I go in, the entrance goes into the cafeteria, and it is jammed with people, jammed with them. And I know a lot of them. And I'm like, what are all these people doing here? So I go up to somebody I know, and I'm like, oh, hi, hug. Right? I go, what are you doing here? They go, oh, well, we presented a workshop here. I'm like, you presented a workshop? They go, yeah. And they're talking to me like I know. I don't quite know what question to ask. I spot the guy who invited me and I go, Chris, what is happening here, And he goes, oh, this is our annual convention. The MET has a convention every year. This is it. I was like, okay. Well, I had no idea. I said, well, where is the Board of Trustees meeting going to happen? And he points to the auditorium. Like this huge auditorium. I don't know, 500 seats, 600 seats. And I'm like, the Board of Trustees meeting is going to be in the auditorium. I was so slow on the uptake. He goes, no, everybody's going to be in there. You're talking to everybody. I said, what? He goes, yeah, you're the keynote speaker. I did not know that. And so I'm thinking about the sweet little speech I've written. I go, could I use the ladies' room, please? And I'm sitting in the ladies' room. I'm frantically reading my notes. I'm like, how much of this can I use? Well, as it turns out, I could use most of it. But so I go in and, 40 minutes in, I marched up to the stage and there's this huge projection, Bethany Nelson, associate professor, keynote speaker. I was just, this is so my life. But I started this talk the same way I had planned to, which is talking about something called taxi driver wisdom. I am always on the lookout for things that I can start drama classes with. And one I found in the Chicago airport. It's a book. It was written by a woman who rode around with New York taxi drivers for a year, just talking to them about life, talking to them about big ideas about life. And she collected a bunch of quotes and then took black and white photographs to go along with them. And I really like it. There are a lot of juicy quotes in there. And one of my favorites is, you say what you want to hear, right? You say what you want to hear. So I asked everybody present, I said, think about what it is you want to hear. And I'll give you about 30 seconds to do it. It has to be a single sentence. It can't be, a bulleted list or whatever. And then when they had it, I said, okay, turn to the person next to you, whether you know them or not, and tell them what it is that you want to hear. And so they're doing this because they're good eggs, right? And the people in the rows that I can really see, because they're close to me, are tearing up. They're crying. The wise guy, my wise guy friend of all time, is crying, and he's saying, I cannot believe this made me cry. And I said, well, the thing that I wanted to hear was, wow, you have accomplished so much. And that's what I want to say to all of you. You have accomplished so much. And then, I did the speech, which was reinforcing of all of the important things that teachers accomplish. And after it was over, all of like a huge part of the crowd was lined up on the stairs. You know how the stairs slant down or rake down through the theater, and they wanted to say hello to me. And the aisle was jammed. I was honestly surprised, in spite of the fact that I know probably 75% of them. And when I was looking at those teachers and arts administrators, teaching artists lined up on the stairs of the theater, waiting to talk to me, to tell me what their training and teaching means to them, listening again and again to the same question. Do you remember me? I was in your classes in fill in the year. Somebody there was from 1997, okay? And the same affirmations. I use what you taught me every day. You changed my life. It was like coming out of a fog. I remembered what I know. That teachers have unlimited power to impact their students, to inspire them, to educate them, to impact the field of education, and through that, the way people think about the world, about life, about our purpose as people who live in community with one another. I remembered. When I asked some of the people around me afterwards what was the thing they wanted to hear, the answers were variations on the same idea. What you do is important. What you do will make a difference. You will succeed at making them listen. And I was so struck by the disjuncture between the experiences of the students and colleagues that were shared with me in that long, hugging line. I'm a Yankee. You remember how I feel about that. I remember what you taught me. I use it with my students. And this simple need for affirmation and recognition of their efforts by people who are arguably at the top of their profession, leaders in the field of theater education, master teachers, program administrators, awarded directors, and playwrights. If they don't feel like others know the value they add, who will? This is just wrong. Very wrong. Because we withhold acknowledgement from people. Never mind accolades or praise or awards. We are so fucking stingy with even simple recognition. Why? To keep people working? Trying? That's the rationale. Or shall I name it more clearly, the excuse? We don't want people to become complacent, lazy, smug, unproductive. But really, we want them to be afraid. Afraid for their jobs, their salaries, their status in their field, their place in the world. The message is, you're nothing special. You're replaceable. There's no funding for that. And the subtext of that is, shut the fuck up. Don't make waves. And most destructive of all, expect nothing. And that's what oppression looks like, my friends. And though I've been talking about theater educators here, this is a profession-wide problem. All teachers are subject to these messages. All teachers are caught between an impossible set of expectations. Do more with less. Don't tell us that you can't push them past the COVID year. Kids are terrified about deportation or the loss of their parents. That's your problem to solve. Increasing emotional instability in the students? Don't make excuses. They still need to pass those tests. And the decay of accepted norms for schools in the form of decreasing funding, decreasing support services, and most of all, the chaotic fear of the national plan for the Department of Education. The destabilizing effect of what happens next cannot be overstated. But that's for next time. So what do? We create communities that understand, local, state, and national communities of like-minded others who support us, acknowledge us, and are acknowledged by us. We hold each other up. We create awards, recognition that's largely denied us by the larger society. And those are all good, necessary, powerful actions. Survival lies in the communities we build for ourselves. But it's not enough. You know why? Because we deserve more than that. We are at the heart of the survival of our society, the support of its norms and laws, the continuation of its most noble goals and values. As I've said before, and I'll undoubtedly say again, we make people in our classrooms, the people who will become adults and hopefully help decide what happens next. But back to me. Me. So, after having these revelations as a result of my keynote adventure, I found myself changed. It was like shaking off the chains of inertia, defensiveness, the fear that the value of my years of effort had come to nothing. And everyone knew it. Rosa Luxemburg, a German revolutionary of the late 18 and early 1900s, said, "Those who do not move fail to notice their chains." Those who do not move fail to notice their chains. I think there's some truth in that, but I'd amend it. Those who do not move forget that they can dislodge their chains. You can. I've broken free. I'm back on my feet and back in this podcast. I'd planned originally to talk about the national bullshit around the dissolution of the Department of Education and the general choking miasma of fear generated by the constant threats, the national instability, and the heartless weaponizing of immigrant children. It would be rife with juicy quotes from teachers about the lack of respect for them and what they do. But I think you're probably aware of all that. So this is a prequel to that podcast. This one is about remembering who you are, remembering what you know and can do, remembering that though current events are making a hard job even harder, it sometimes feels impossible. In truth, it's the same job it's always been. We are here to teach children and young people. We are here to move them along their developmental path while simultaneously teaching them, fill in the subject here, theater, math, language, arts, science, health, world languages, and on and on. No matter what obstacles stand in our way. That is the charge and has always been the charge, though stated as though it's not hard, of course. That, of course, you should be able to do that, no matter how large the class, how challenged the students, how underfunded the school, how unsupportive the community or state or country. Baloney. It's very hard. But I'm not telling you the news. You already know that. Whether you teach in a rich private school or an underfunded urban school, it ain't easy. Because making people ain't easy. It's a big fucking job. But you can do it. You have done it. You are doing it. And if you can hang in there, you'll continue to do it. Because in those moments, the classrooms with those kids, it's hard to ignore how important that job is. That's what I learned from my recent, somewhat comic, definitely nervous-making experience. I remembered my value and the value of what I do. I remembered the way teaching has allowed me to use my particular quirky, idiosyncratic self to make change, both in the lives of individuals and in the kids, classes, casts, teams those individuals will influence. And I was shocked to realize how the disbelief of others, founded on literally nothing, no facts, no truth, nothing, could shake my sense of that value. I stood up and I fought for what I think is right. And I've prevailed, so far at least, so yay me. But the idea I want to leave you with is this. Don't forget your value, or the value of what you do. It's important, and you're not the only one who knows it. My father once said I was born with a sword in one hand and a shield in the other. Now, while I might debate how those ended up in my hands, family, it's never simple, it's basically true. That's who I am. I won't shut up about something I think is wrong. I won't stop advocating for something I think is important, because I can't. And that's not always a good thing, believe me. And if that's not who you are, more power to you. I think your life will be happier for it. Balance is good, you know. But don't forget your importance. Your importance to the children you teach. Your importance to the families of those children who trust you with the thing that matters most to them. Your importance to the system of which you're a part. And your importance to the evolving world. Remember your value and the value of your field. And speaking as someone born with a sword in one hand and a shield in the other, if people doubt it, try to correct that impression. No pressure. I'm done now, and I'm going to leave you with the thing I wanted to hear. Wow, you have accomplished so much. Whether you've been teaching for 3 months or 30 years, you have done a lot, and it's important. If you would like to share some moments of accomplishment, I'd love to hear them. You can DM me in my Instagram account, educationclusterf_CK, or email it to me at educationclusterfck, cleverly disguising the dirty word, at gmail.com, and I'll share them at the next episode. I'll leave out your name if you'd prefer. It seems a fitting introduction for an episode that includes the Department of Education. As always, thank you for listening. If you have time, please post a review or share this with someone you think it would be useful for. I'll talk at you in about 2 weeks.
J like the letter, I'm making several waves. I know the mission is same. I made a splash, now all of my passes last like running a race with Usain. I keep it coming like this is a buffet. And if I'm stumbling, I'm in the graves. Never gon' fumble it, I get the bag and I run with it, gunning it, gunning it, gunning it, gunning it.